You're very welcome back to the Daily Rundown with me, Fiona Fox. Now, a new study has found that female graduates are less likely to apply for top graduate schemes, but are in fact more likely to get them if they did. The Association of Graduate Recruiters found that while 54% of students are women, they make up just 47% of graduate scheme applicants. However, 49% were successful, the study finds. Now, even in male-dominated areas such as IT, women are proportionally more successful once they decide to apply. This is all a very kind of confusing article, isn't it? It's kind of almost, we were saying earlier on that the article almost says, this is quite confusing to us. What's going on here, Polly? I'm sorry, but you're the token, I don't know if it's not female, but...
Token female? What are you trying to tell us?
I'm moderate. Moderator. No. What's going on? What's putting women off from applying for these in your opinion, graduate schemes?
I think that's kind of the question here, really, isn't it? Because this doesn't feel necessarily like news to me, although I think the part of it that was interesting was the bit about how actually IT and engineering is doing quite well at improving rates of women applying. I think in how it was being spoken about, there was this kind of split between is it the selection process, and is the idea of that and what you have to go through in order to get these kind of jobs, or is it to do with the perception about the industry? And the people around the report seemed to be saying that they thought it was about the industry, and yet you do have these industries like IT and engineering that seem to be doing better, and maybe that's because they're working harder to change the perception about the industry.
I was actually going to say that we've had a few people in here from the STEM program in Manchester,
right.
And there's been a massive recruitment drive to have women in, and now I think this is the first year where there are more women studying STEM subjects than men. I think there was some statistic, maybe someone can pull it up. It was on this show anyway. But anyway, maybe this would explain that, because there's been such a push to kind of get women into those subjects. Yeah. But as an overall kind of statistic, it's still confusing. Would you think?
Yeah, anything to do with women confuses me. I'm just confused now. As you say, I mean, I don't know if it's much what kind of news story it is, really. It's just and I don't know, is there something holding back? Is it that women aren't going for these positions, or do you think there's something there's a reason why?
That's what I was going to say. Would you say it's a personal view?
Yeah.
One thing I did think was interesting is the fact that most of the way in which this is reported talks about the statistics around the number of women who are applying and how well they do in terms of applying, and then there are these kind of opinions being put forward on why it's happening, and some of those are couched around the idea of confidence, and also that women don't realise that they need to go for these jobs. And I was just
make sure your fingers were being they wanted to make sure they were in a shot there, otherwise that would be lost.
But I think that's kind of putting forward those ideas, and a study that's ostensibly about the fact that this is happening, not why it's happening, is kind of interesting and potentially a little bit patronising, going to the idea that it's about confidence and it's about them not realising their own potential. I mean, I think there can be some very complicated decisions about why you do or don't go for something, partly to do with you might know that you'd be great at it, but actually think that there's a lot about the way that industry works that feels excluding, that if it is still a male-dominated industry, choosing to be part of that is a challenge. If you're aware that within this industry women don't tend to kind of make it to the top jobs and the top kind of pay packages, again you might think, you know what, I would be really good at this, but I might be really good elsewhere where I could actually climb to the top, and there are fewer glass ceilings.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all obvious stuff, though, really, isn't it? When it's all stuff that we've kind of covered as individual topics anyway. Everything you've mentioned there, the salary differences and everything like that. Maybe it'll change from this discussion, all the insight Mike's given us.
Well, yeah, thanks. But now it's interesting talking about industries where it is a bit like that, because obviously comedy, stand-up comedy, it's very hard. It's a lot harder for women to do stand-up comedy. I don't know why it should be, but it is, and it's still got that view of so many people involved in comedy still have these kind of outdated views, and they need to if you're hosting a night or emceeing, like, oh, next we've got a female act, or they need to label the fact that it's a female coming on. And just silly stuff like that, which people just don't, I guess they don't think about, and they just keep saying it, and I think people just need to think a bit more.
Do you think we're slowly moving away, but it's just a bit slow, isn't it? It is a bit slow to think that this is still an issue. That's a really good point, that the labelling thing is, look, as we've put women on the bills now.
They should all just be comedians.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Or whatever, in whatever industry.
Thanks very much for that, Mike. Let's move to our next story. Musician Jack White is attempting to be the first person to play a vinyl record in space. The rock star's record label, Third Man, has teamed up with students and teachers in near space to launch the spacecraft on Saturday. The Icarus craft will use a high-altitude balloon and a space-proof turntable to play a 12-inch solid gold vinyl record. And this will be the former White Stripes frontman's third record attempt. What do you think about this? I mean, I kind of feel the White Stripes had a moment, well, for me. I'm sure people still like them, and then they went off the boil again for me. He seems to be spending most of his time trying to break records now and just getting out and doing songs.
Yeah. Well, what I find most interesting, the record, it isn't his music.
No,
is it?
But it's
it's not actually White Stripes.
No,
it's Carl Sagan, isn't it?
A Glorious Dawn. But it was the.
And is it just vocal, just audio?
I think it's a mix of
music and
lots of different bits of stuff. But it was the label's 3 millionth pressed record, so I think that was why it was chosen. And also, I mean, the kind of criticism he would get if he launched his own record into space.
Well,
I feel
someone's already done that. Will.i.am did that. Will.i.am they were meant to get his, I don't know what happened with it, putting his music onto Mars or somewhere. But there's like a precedent for this, isn't there? Because there were a number of songs that went up in the Apollo mission. So this idea of kind of sending music out into space is kind of not a new one. The thing that kind of caught my attention was the fact that they've called it's a space-proof turntable, the Icarus craft. And the story of Icarus, the boy who
perished.
He got burnt by the sun.
Well, he made
wings
from feathers and wax and flew too close to the sun, and they melted, and he crashed into the sea. So I'm a bit like, what?
Yeah, it's like calling a boat Titanic or something, isn't it?
Basically, in what could only be described as a non-space-proof outfit, is what he's offering on. So that is confusing.
So not sure. I mean, I don't know whether there's going to be some kind of spectacular fall. That's actually the point in some way, but I don't know.
Why does everybody want to do something in space now anyway? Why
are people just messing around in space?
It still feels like a frontier, I think. It still feels somewhere that so few humans have really been, is still unknown in a lot of ways.
But is there not another part though of the research that they should be spending this money and time on there, rather than just going up and getting a song played?
Yeah.
Should they not be trying to get us there or something, or setting up our second home for when we
they're setting up the party, they're getting the record player there and everything, the sound system up, and then we'll go.
Right.
They're having a party where the kind of record will be you can witness the mission as part of it.
Oh yes, they are. They have a few centres set up actually.
Which I was like, well, it kind of be weird just being at a party, just watching this thing go out into space. And
I don't know why I'm so unimpressed by this type of thing. I think there's something wrong with me. I accept, obviously, it's amazing in space. Gosh, I had a NASA scientist in here. I interviewed him, and he was amazing. I loved him. He had a little piece of Mars. I tried on his moon gloves. It was amazing, and I actually, I genuinely felt a bit starstruck actually, because he's been in space,
Well, now he's hasn't really lasted, hasn't he? Now you don't care.
No, but I think he's done, because he did proper work. Is my point.
Right.
I sort of feel like, why are the celebrities not getting involved in space now? I just get lost and leave it to the scientists.
I think the other thing that I love about this is Jack White's other records breaking attempts. My favourite of which is the shortest music concert ever, 16th July 2007, which then got struck off because the Guinness Book of Records basically said that it's the nature of competing to make something shorter trivializes the activity.
Yes, and I fully agree with that.
For loads of people trying to do the shortest thing.
Exactly, and this,
Minimal effort.
how does that even work? Like, why don't you just arrange a concert and not go? That must be the winner, surely. No, just not show up as their artist. Would that not be the shortest one?
I think
Something
you
has
have
to
to have
happen.
some form of time on stage.
Why did he even think, like, when he did that, was that his aim? To make it a short, or was he just having like a
Did they
celebrity
just
No, I
drop
drop
think
or
that was what
something?
they were going for.
Why?
Yeah.
Do you want to be
And,
on
like, the people
record breakers?
pay.
What,
But
what's his
very-
I just play
obsession?
bloody music.
I mean, there's the very, very famous piece of music where the pianist comes on stage, everybody's waiting in the audience, they sit down, they kind of prepare their tails, they kind of flex their hands, raise their hands over the keyboard and then play nothing for, what is it, 13 minutes, 15 minutes? And the way in which the audience goes through these kind of rhythms of reaction from kind of like what's going on to actually this is quite funny to actually now I'm annoyed because I did come to hear music to maybe it's quite funny again to, you know, and
This is brilliant.
Realising they're part of something then. They're part of a stupid Guinness Book of Records attempt.
well that wasn't Guinness Book of Records,
But I imagine, I don't know why I'm not impressed by this one anyway. When's it happening? Do you remember?
Don't know. I wasn't invited to the party or anything. No.
Everybody wants to do something. I just feel like if you were super, super rich, and Richard Branson, all these various millionaires who have their names on lists.
Well, Richard Branson definitely is exploring space.
He wants to live on
To
the
be
moon.
fair
doesn't
to
he,
him,
or-
To be fair to him, he's funding. I think he's funding research and stuff, isn't he? Is he though? Why? It's for his own benefit though.
Who knows why?
I just think
Branson does anything.
space. I feel like is the one area that celebrity hasn't just completely taken over and ruined. So I think it should stay
I think
like
it just
that.
can't yet. You know,
They're trying though.
It's only a matter of time. Yeah,
They're trying. It's only a matter of time. Let's start out with Jack White. Thank you very much for that, guys. We're going into our second break of the evening. We'll be back in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere.